Okay, we are starting live and just want to make sure that we are live right now. And let's see. Uh, just to make sure that everyone can, if you can hear me and see me, just maybe give me a shout out. Let me just test and make sure that the audio and everything. Okay, cool. I think we are all live at the moment. Let me just pull out my data. Great, great. Well, so today we're really going to kind of cover a little bit like, hey, 1,480 new condos and still selling, yeah, over one weekend. This number is not the last number. And the question we have asked ourselves is, wow, Singaporeans, I think holiday season all go shopping. All right, so everybody is saying that wow, everybody start buying, and even despite the high prices, the sales are still doing very very well. Well, so to give you guys an update, Emerald of Katong so far has already sold close to 99%. Only left a few of the one plus study. Even today, reballoting, it seems like they have almost 800 checks for the reballoting process, and of course, many people walk away empty-handed because 800 is like a ballot in a ballot situation, right? And then, of course, Nava Grove moved about 65% of its unit. Novo Place, being an EC, also managed to sell about 57%, with an average per square foot close to $1,700. And that's a total of 1,480 plus transactions already. We are not even counting the 969 that was sold previously in Chuan Park, which was also currently, there's still a lot of units being sold. So yeah, so this has been a crazy 2 weeks, 3 weeks kind of environment in Singapore property market. So actually, what do y'all feel as a consumer, as a homeowner? All right, let's take a look. How many units are currently still available, right? So let us just go live here and let me just share the screen so that we can see the data. Give me a second. Let me just turn this on. Yes, so it has been a little bit everybody is asking like, hey, what is actually happening? How come there are so many buyers in the market? Is it real? So today in this video, we are also going to kind of uncover a little bit of what is actually happening. Okay, so let's take a look at Emerald Katong after today's reballoting. Are there any other units left? Let's take a look. So we have left all the one bed plus study. All right, so all the one bed plus study is still available. And let's take a look at currently for Chuan Park. Okay, how many percentage has it been sold since then? Let's take a look at the summary. So they have close to 79% sold already so far. All right, and if you see the types of units available left, there are still quite a couple of the 2 bedroom and the 3 bedroom still. What about Nava Place? How about Nava Grove, not Nava Place. Okay, Nava, as of now, already sold close to 70%. So it's been a very healthy 2 weeks of sales. So if you ask me, there is a lot of the ripple effect that actually came upon, okay, came upon due to the massive sale from Emerald Katong. So actually, what is driving this demand? This is something that we want to uncover today's session. Give me a second. And also, will this Emerald of Katong and all this 70-90% situation continue? And that's what we really want to uncover in today's video. And I'm sure there's many of you who have actually put check for either of all the properties and you came out empty-handed. So there are a few situations that you'll be falling into right now. One is like, oh, you FOMO and then you just go and buy anything else. That's definitely one of the no I always had. The second is that you are waiting for the next launches, which is coming in 2025. So you kind of having a sit and wait kind of attitude. Nothing wrong with it. And then the third type that you are in is basically you just give up your decision in buying properties lah. So maybe for a start, you actually do not want to buy a property from a start, but because of the FOMO situation, because of the everybody is buying kind of rushing, and you also got into this and you went for the ballot and you put in a check, but actually deep inside you know, hey, actually it's okay for you not to buy property. So this non queue number for you actually is a blessing in disguise. Or it actually kind of give you a very long cooling period to go and dive in, whether is it the right time for you to actually enter property, or is there a must for you to buy property? You see. So in today's video, we're going to cover quite a couple of things. All right. So most importantly, I think there's this misconception in the market. It's like everybody is buying, you know, real or not. How many of you got that kind of situation where you also wondering whether is it real that hey, people are actually buying? So we want to kind of using data and numbers to kind of uncover a little bit of this and to determine whether this is the truth lah. Oh, so let me just share my screen again. Give me a second. Just start this. All right, cool. All right, so basically there are four types of you lah right now. Okay, the first type you could be a non-believer and you don't know whether hey is this really happening. You know, you could be confused, and in this video we really want to kind of dive in a little bit deeper. Is it a FOMO effect? Is it a pent-up situation? So what's the facts? So today, if you are thinking that whatever that you see on the papers, whatever that you are hearing out there, you do not believe that this is happening, and you keep thinking, no lah, all these buyers are foreigners buying, then you fall into category number one. And perhaps you feel that today people are buying because of the fear of missing out. Okay, FOMO, hyped up. Everybody is kind of, the marketing was done very, very well. And everybody kind of like, was scared to lose. They just want to go and buy. And they will just anyhow buy and anyhow give up. Okay, so that is how some of the buyers that we have met so far, they also fall into this category, right? Of course, the third group of you could be you are accepting that this is actually happening and this is a reality check. Perhaps you have missed this period or this kind of craze or period where buyers are buying property and the prices keep going up situation. Perhaps in the last couple of years you did miss this opportunity before, and this sets you on another reality check like, hey, this is happening again and again. You could have missed this opportunity. Then the question is, if today you want to kind of get yourself out from the habit that you have not been guided on, I have only one statement to share with you. The faster you can accept the facts, the quicker you can make the right decision. Okay, I say again, the faster you can accept the facts, okay, the quicker you can make a decision. So based on what we always advise clients, we are not basing on just hearsays. We are really basing on real data, real numbers, real analytics and research to guide you into the property market. If not, sometimes I always ask ourselves, sometimes I will ask my clients like, okay, if you think that this is not happening, so those 1,000 over people who purchase property, do they know things that you don't know? That's first question. Second, if we all think that the property prices is too high and those people who are buying are too rich, then are we talking about these 1,500 plus people, they are very rich? Or perhaps we will think that, oh, no lah, they don't know their things, they anyhow buy, they FOMO, they go and buy. Are we really talking about 1,500 people buying and they don't know anything? See, so sometimes we have to really sit back and then ask ourselves, what is the facts? What is the facts that can guide us in the right directions? Yes, we will definitely be very concerned about what the market situation, my finances, but from a general perspective, that's where we come in to guide you. And of course, if you fall into group number four, then this is you don't know what is happening lah. You don't know what's Emerald Katong, you don't know what's Chuan Park, you don't know what's Nava Grove, you don't know what is happening. So you're kind of in your own world, which is fine because you may not be in the market, right? So there are many homeowners out there actually you really don't know. And the reason why is because how many times do you actually look at property? The only time that you look at property is when you intend to upgrade, you intend to sell, or you wanted to do something, change of location, or then you look into your property matters. So most homeowners, they don't study their property until maybe about 5 or even 10 years later. Then they kind of come back into the market and then start seeking it. So if you are falling into this situation, don't worry. You don't know what's happening. It's also a good thing. Means you no need to do anything. Also, all right. So I mean, I don't believe any one of you don't know what's happening. At least you will also hear some of all these things in the news and also in social media lah. But the question is, what is actually going on, and will this pan up for EOK or even for Chuan Park continue? Will future launches also be sold out? Would it be also more than 50, 60%? So what's coming up, right, are a few of these quite exciting developments. They are going to be definitely in the first Q of 2025. We have Orie. Orie is in Toa Payoh, very near to Braddell MRT. Then we have Alta. Alta is at the Clementi Avenue 1, which is just beside Clavon. And of course, we have the integrated property, which is Park Now Residences. All right, so there are these three big developments that is going to be launched in first Q 2025. So Ori will be the first one in January. So if let's say today you are kind of miss out in EOK or Chuan Park and you don't want to make the same mistake as you did previously where nobody is guiding you, there's no analytics, you don't know how to actually select a certain property, then you may want to scan the QR code, reach out to us so that we can actually place you upfront in terms of our assessment. All right, so we are already there's a lot of queue, okay, in because of Christmas, festive, holidays, and January. So time is very tight to go through any assessments at the moment. And I really urge if any one of you are really interested in any of these developments, you may want to slow down a little bit, not to make the same mistake as what you did last time. Since you did not buy, count it as a blessing in disguise. Perhaps even if you buy, you also don't know what you're buying into. This time around, sit back and then research it properly with us so that we can guide you step by step on how you should be selecting for your property in any of these new developments, provided you are only going for these three big projects. Okay, there should be four. So one more coming up as well. So for the new launches, like I say in my previous video, if you have not seen any of them, please go and see all my other videos of how we analyze developments to prepare you ahead for your selection process and not just put a check and then after that, you don't know what is happening. Okay, so this is something that we want to really get you guys involved. All right, so really to come back, I just want to share with you right now, because of the current situation, what we are seeing, number one, is that there's a lot of pent-up demand in a lot of the launches. Why? Because the recent launches are in certain areas where there's not much developments also, and there's a lack of launches in 2024. Very clearly, if you can see from the first half of 2024 and second half of 2024 is totally different. And if you've been tracking the new launch market, you will know that for the first half of the 2024, right, we only transact about 1,916 units. This is the first half. So why? So a lot of people are asking, hey, how come some of the developments they're selling slower than others? They are not like EOK and Chuan, wow, can sell 70, 80%. That means their project is no good. All right. So there is this misconception that those current properties that are still available, right? A lot of people deem them as lousy properties. Okay, so this is one of the biggest mistake that you must make because you must understand property always comes with what? Timing. It comes with what? Market sentiment. It comes with economy situation. So there's a lot of factors that happen in the first half of 2024. So if you can recall what happened in 2024, we are still in a very high interest rates environment, about 4.2 to even 4.5%, and the economy is still muted in general. And the third thing that happened during the first half was we are just coming out from a 2023 cooling measure. So all this do dampen the behavior and the spirit of buyers in terms of the what should I call it? Your sentiment. All right. A lot of the sentiments are being muted and everything pressed down because everything that you see on paper seems like not so good. And that is what resulted in a slower growth during this first half of 2024. So the 1,916 units is actually the lowest, okay? Lowest half-year figure recorded since when? 2020, 2008, okay? And it is even lower than the second half during that period. And that period, you all know, is the what? Global financial crisis, right? Global financial crisis, right? So during then, right, uh, even with global financial crisis, right, 1,977 units was sold. So actually, the 2024 first half is actually even lower. So then you will say that, wow, that means the market cannot make it. Wow, everything is coming down. That maybe a crisis going on. So today, if we add on the weekend 1,400 unit, 1,500 units to the current 5,000 over units, right? Today, what we are seeing is about 6,600 units as of now. Okay. And this represents a very low number of new properties sold. But this isn't a reflective of last week, the last bumper sales. Okay. It's more so that today, in the first half of 2024, there's not a lot of new launches, and there were more concentrated in the second half. Okay, that's all. That's why whenever you see reports in terms of price index, whenever there's a new launch, you will see a better performance. So this is quite common. All right. So if today you are just looking at, wow, the last quarter of 2024 is kind of very good, your overall view may be distorted. You may not be seeing the real data clearly, or because everything that we are seeing, whatever that you guys are seeing on the papers and everything, is already outdated to some sense. Or so you've been seeing like, wow, the papers start to splash all the crazy prices, everything sell very well. So the illusion is that, hey, the entire market is crazy. But question is there really demand in today's market? Is there? All right, so we need to really study, because today, if you see, the volume did came down. All right, the volume did came down. But one thing that you must understand is, while volume came down, this is what the papers are always highlighting. Did we necessarily have a dip in terms of price? So price and volume are two different things. Okay, so later on, you all really want to stay on today, and because I have the latest update about Orie. If you all want, who wants Orie information? Okay, I have the first fresh off the oven Orie information, including what you all always love it, floor plan, number of units. Okay, I have that, so you all must stay on the video, because later on I'll be sharing with you first hand. Okay, what are the breakdown in terms of number of units. And it's very surprising that I see how they actually not say price now. Okay, we don't know the price yet, but how they actually divided their number of units and what are the types of properties there. All right. So coming back here, why do I want to study this? Because we want to look at, is there real demand in today's market? All right. So today, just to give you a quick overview, right? Today we have balance unsold in terms of unsold supply, and this is, we have to always study supply, right? So we need to look at the unsold supply now is close to about 19,000 units. Okay, so 19,000 units, then we also break it down into the RCR, CCR, OCR zone to give us a good indication, like today, how much of a demand is needed so that we can absorb the supply. You see, so for the longest time, right, our supply has been coming down because why? Because everybody is buying, okay, since 2019 all the way until 2022. And the reason why you are seeing a very slower kind of increase in terms of supply, with one main reason is because during the 2020 to 2021 period, this was recovery from COVID. So during COVID time, were there land being sold? Okay, government also did not release any land, developer also not buying land, which means that in these 2 years, actually there was very little, if I'm not mistaken, only 2 to 3 plots were sold, but that was before COVID, right? So can you imagine, right? Ask yourself, today, if let's say there are 2 years of no launches, no land sales, which means developer has no inventory. So today, when we buy a land, do we necessarily mean that the inventory, the supply will come in immediately? No, because they need time to what? Build. They need time to sell. They need time to complete it. So there is always a lag time where today we are missing these 2 years, which is why today you are seeing that the government immediately after the recovery of COVID, right, they start to bump up a lot of supply during this period. They bump up the supply. But this supply, will it come immediately? It will not. It will only come much later. So today we are still experiencing the counter effect from COVID time. Okay, this supply that is not enough is actually from COVID, because there's not enough. So we are still having this under supply situation. And if we calculate based on CCR, RCR, and OCR, right, the number of now units that is available, right, based on the take up rate, because we will be able to calculate, like, for the last 10 years, what's the average take up rate for each region, which means in CCR, the number of units and the average take up rate, will last about 5 years. Whereas RCR is going to take about 2.1 years and OCR is 1.4 years. So using this is also a guideline for you that today, if you are going to look into property, right, you want to go into which segment of the market very clearly. You need to make a decision. Why? Because we use a lot of all this research to guide you through in terms of where to buy. So today we are always having this wrong impression that, wow, there's a lot of land, there's a lot of supply going on. But the true fact is we are under supply still. Because why? Today when we just study supply, okay, based in just 2019, right, the total supply is 49,000 and there's an unsold supply of 30,000. That is back in 2019. So what happened to prices during that? Was pricing actually also very high in 2019? It was. And now today, our total supply is only 35,000. That means there's almost a 10,000 drop. And the unsold supply also reduces. So the oversupply component where everybody is talking about, because you all have been seeing a lot of new launches selling and you've been seeing launches after launches, that also gives you the impression that actually you may think that there's a lot of supply in the market. But from data perspective, it's not. Okay, it's not. And today when we are looking at supply, we also must be very fair, because today, can I say that actually 19,000 is a lot of supply, not enough to take up. 30,000 is a lot of supply, not enough to take up. Because why? Because we are just looking at supply, which is why you need to also study the demand. So when we start comparing demand and supply, right, you will be able to look at today on average, a 10-year new sales volume averagely for the last 10 years has always been about 8,800 plus units, average. Oh, so today our take-up rate for the property, we have only unsold about 20,000. So am I right to say that within 2 to 3 years, a lot of all these developments that is being launched right now will be already 100% sold? So that is the reason why today you must understand from a consumer perspective, from a data perspective, will the government fit in a lot of supply that nobody can buy? Number one. Has we ever seen a project cannot sell after 5 years and still selling kind of situation? Okay, very rare. Okay, have lah, but very rare, right? Those are the overpriced property lah. So let's not go into that. See, so today, do understand our population is being controlled. Our land supply is being controlled. The amount of units that each land can supply in terms of units are also being controlled. So when you understand how all this supply and demand situation goes for property, it does give you a sense of understanding and direction of where we should go for. Because today, if you are not following a lot of all these trends, then you may fall into the wrong category of purchases. You may buy wrong property. Because in the beginning of the first half of this year, this is what happened. You can see the launches are not doing well. 23% only sell 43 units, Hillshot only sell 3 units. And new home sales shrunk to the lowest for the month of August. And this is what? This is just a couple of months back, you see. But what happened after that? Immediately, when September came, interest rates starts to adjust. I'm sure every one of you know. And this is also primarily the main reason. And every homeowners are using interest rates as a main key indicator to say that, hey, the market is to my favor, let me enter. All right. And is this the only reason why buyers rush in? So that is the question you must ask yourself. All right. Very likely, many know that this is the start of a bullish market. And today, if you're on the fence, still, you potentially could be missing out on a huge cycle again, because this is a big indicator. And with the sale of the crazy 2 to 3 weekends, right? Everybody is saying that it's madness, but there is a science to it, because there's just not enough supply in the marketplace. Let me share with you why everybody is going for the new launches at this current moment. It's because there's not enough supply inventory in the resale market. There is a lack of inventory in the resale market because the replacement cost for any homeowners is going to be very high if they were to sell their property. Ask yourself, my friends, you are here today, ask yourself, today, if you want to sell your property, will you be also worried that, hey, today I sell my property at 2 million, I need to buy the next property is at 2.5 million. Will you dare to make that move? So that is why in the resale market right now, you cannot find a lot of listings. That's one. There's not a lot of units for sale. And even if there is, the prices are quite crazily high if you look at it. So that is the reason, if anybody who needs property, they will have to go and buy something first. Yes, give and take, new launch property, you do need to wait 2 to 3 years or even 4 years sometimes. But while at the same time, they will go and rent, which means our rental market will continue to thrive in the couple of years. And this is how I see. So today, if you're a homeowner and you are renting out your unit, don't be worried. Yes, rental has come down briefly since a year ago, a year and a half ago, but the rental will still continue to be very buoyant, very positive. So don't need to rush to say that, oh, you want to quickly reduce your rent, that kind of situation. You no need. I can share with you, the rental market will still continue to be very, very healthy in the next 2 to 3 years. Right? But interest rate is one indicator. But if today you are just using interest rate as an indicator, we're not saying that you cannot. But that is the easiest way to study, correct? To use interest rate as an indicator. Because this one everybody also knows, you see. So whenever, this is from data, whenever you see a muted interest rate, right? Very low interest rate, you do see that the volume activity goes up. You do see it here. And when there's a higher interest rate situation, you can see that our volume kind of stagnant. Then when it came down low again, right, volume starts to go up. Okay, and including our prices also lah, or our prices also go in situation with this. So today you must understand that today, while you have the opportunity that on a bullish market where interest rate is a bit lower, right? A lot of people, they say that they want to wait for interest rate to drop to the lowest, then I enter the market. Not that you cannot, but even I cannot predict. I cannot project when is the lowest, and I also cannot project when is the highest. So there's a saying, right? Everybody wants to buy low, sell high, that kind of situation. Uh, the moment you get into debt, I think you'll forever not enter into the property market, because this can never happen. If anybody who can do it, then I think they are very, 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 very powerful. They have other means of projecting it. But from a layman perspective, we are not saying that you need to enter when the prices is too high. But when we are in a bullish market right now, when interest is coming down, you have this window opportunity to enter while waiting for the market to actually appreciate. So this is what we see. So if I give you an example like Whistler Grand, in the muted market, right, 2019 and 2020, a lot of people are saying that you shouldn't buy property during then because it's very risky, it's COVID period. But eventually, if you have the ability to continue to hold it, right, you can see how it went up in terms of the value, 440 to even 217. And eventually, it still continue to drive up. Right. So today, remember, property is not as liquid as a lot of other type of investments. So the ability to hold in terms of financials are very extremely crucial. You cannot buy a property and then say that, oh, Coach Edmund, I I need to sell in 3 years because I have no funds. If you're buying property based on that, then I think it's a very, very high risk. Okay, let's not go into that situation. The same thing goes for Sterling at 2 bedroom. It was a little bit slower in the beginning, but eventually it still also goes up and continue to climb eventually. So there is no wrong of buying a property even at its highest price. This is what I always share with my client. Can I project today after you buy tomorrow? Can I project that the market will not come down? I cannot. Can I project that your property will eventually go up even higher? Definitely, I also cannot. But what we can do is that if today we are buying it at the safest point, so we have a lot of criteria, and you can check it out some of my videos that I actually share. There must be certain parameters that revolve around your purchase. If today you're just basing on interest rate to purchase, then your one criteria versus my 13 criteria, who will be safer? All right. So one of the key criteria is you must have a support price in a certain location, a certain estate. If you don't have that support price, whether your affordability, you can buy the most expensive property there, right? You are putting yourself at a higher risk. Okay. So my role is not to tell you what to do, but my role is to provide all this access into data research to give you a better understanding what is happening in this location, the prices, and how you should exit this property, not just about buying. So we always buy with the intention to sell. Okay, right now, we always buy with the intention to sell. So today, every one of us, why we can exit very comfortably and very easily, even with a certain profit, is because we plan that way ahead before we buy the property. So over time, right, a very quick turnaround. I mean, after the launch of ABT, when the PSF was about 2,700, Mayor Blue at 3,002, Norwood at Woodlands sell 84%. This is the turning point. This is a turning point that resulted in this. We all know all the Novo Place, Nava Grove, Emerald Katong, as well as Chuan Park, right? All of them starts going up, you see, and the demand is very real. The sentiment improves just overnight, very fast. And it was at the right time where interest rate also came down to now less than 3%, right? So it gives buyers a lot of confidence that, hey, the market now is at my favor. And that's why they have been waiting. They've been waiting for a while for this news, and everybody just jumps in. And with the lack of supply moving forward, okay, with the lack of supply moving forward, we all understand the fundamentals. When there's not enough supply, what will happen to price? Price goes up or price comes down. You know the answer. Okay, you know the answer. And this is exactly what is happening right now. So the key thing is that today, do you want to wait for the demand to goes up when economy picked up and interest rate fall? That kind of situation. But you still want to do your homework first with proper research. All right, so you can always prepare yourself ahead. As I shared with many clients over the past couple of months, right, there is a window opportunity that today you have, okay? But this window opportunity is closing up, whether you like it or don't like it. Even if you don't do anything, it closes up without you, it doesn't matter. But if today you have been looking at properties, you have been researching, I have some of them who researched for the last 1 to 2 years time and did not take action, and that's why they become what? FOMO, they anyhow purchase. And then they come and ask me, Coach Edmund, did I buy correctly or not? I say, you buy already, then you ask me. Wow, then should I tell you not to buy or not? So we don't want you guys to fall into that situation. I'd rather you over prepare yourself, get things cleared out. Then you see whether is this the right time for you to enter into the property market. All right, because today you cannot chase things. All right, I'd rather not chase things. So some of you may be saying that, oh, I just wait for the next new launch. Nothing wrong with waiting for the future launches in next year or so. But if today there are good opportunities, there are good units out there still, all right, why are we waiting for next year? So am I chasing the market, or should I buy first and I let the market push my prices upwards? Because you already know prices are going to go up. So this is also very important. That's why when today, if let's say you're really going for these 3 launches, right, ask yourself the question, is it you are waiting for these 3 launches and you have missed the previous ones, and today do you want to continue to chase the market? Or perhaps you have not really understand the knowledge and the education part of how you should be looking at the market, because there are a few factors that you should be looking at today, and I'm going to share with you as we go along in our consultations. But today, if let's say you are saying, oh, I really need to buy Orie or Alta or whichever park town because my parents are staying nearby, the schools that my kids are going to go is going to be there, fine. You have a certain reason for it. But if today you are buying in because they are just the next new thing, then I believe you are buying it with the wrong criteria. Okay, you may seriously want to really consider what you should be looking at so that you can make your entry safer in this sense. All right. So again, if you want to reach out, my QR code is there. You can just scan and I'll be sharing with you more details. All right. So for those of you who are waiting for the Orie information, so you hear this first. So do subscribe and like this video, all right, as much as you can so that we can continue to get new updates. So when we have any of all these new updates, I will also be doing videos. So you must hit the notification bell. Okay, once you hit the notification bell, all right, you'll be triggered whenever I do new videos, whether it's Orie, Alta, Park Town, and everybody is having holiday and Chinese New Year, and the developer dropped this bombshell on everybody, like everybody cannot go overseas really to some extent. All right, so Orie, come, let's take a look. Orie is our prime location, right? Toa Payoh. All right, it's a 2 blocks of 40 units, okay? And for this unit, of course, it's a leasehold property. And what I particularly like is that today, the number of units, wow, very nice number. Don't know, is it purposely do it this way? All right, nice number lah. All right, so let us look at the unit mix, the breakdown. So we're talking about in terms of the 1 bedroom plus study, all the way to 5 bedroom with private lift. And you can see that the percentage of the unit mix, meaning the more premium units are always at about 40%. So we are also seeing developers doing this kind of unit mix since last year, which means that they count their 3 bedrooms, the premium range, and that's where they load in terms of sizes, in terms of the quality, finishing perhaps a little bit better. and they will have the general ones that is more for the mass market buyers. So I think nothing to fault in terms of the sizes. But one thing I believe will make a huge differences, which is what I think is very smart of developers to do, is you can see the difference of the 3 bedroom when it jumps straight to 3 bed premium. This is something that I noticed immediately. Can you see the size jump? Okay, so today if I ask you to buy a 3 bedroom compact, I mean they call it a 3 bedroom compact for 850 square feet, then you'll be asking, this is harmonized property. Can I stay in a 850 uh, bedroom type for my family? All right. Because if not, then you have to go for the bigger one, 1023 to 1044. You see, so you will end up paying more. So again, we do not have the much details of this information. That's why everything is in draft. Don't take my word for it. All these plans usually will still change as we get nearer to the launch. But you hear it from me. I will definitely be updating you all whenever we get more new information. All right. So why everybody is aiming for this one since 1 year ago? Actually, should I say since the land was sold? Because you are very near to Brother MRT. Okay, the show flag is also up already. I drove down the other day, trying to peek inside, but security stopped me. Cannot. So it's actually very near where some of the food market is. Or if you know, very very good location. For the Orie, 5 minutes to Brother MRT. And not only that, it's also because the amenities are all within reach. I mean, these are all the information I will not cover too much, even in my future videos. I think all this information you all can read somewhere yourself. Everybody's been talking about it. And today, one key thing that you must know that for Ori, we are also surrounded by a lot of the high rise. So don't expect Ori to launch cheap. Okay, that's my warning to everybody. I think a lot of homeowners are being duped. Okay, should I not say duped lah, but misinterpreted that even like when EOK and Chuan was launching, they were undercoat. All right, so let's not make the mistake. There's always a base kind of pricing that developers have to break even. There are certain profits they have to make. So if it's I always find that if it's too cheap to be true, then something is wrong. So why give ourselves that kind of expectation when logically it shouldn't be? See, so that's why if today you don't have somebody to guide you, then you'll be when you're balloting, you will end up disappointed. Then you keep blaming, how come they make so much money? How come the developer don't give us a chance to buy? Well, it's all about expectations, right? And if you have studied the property, land, development charges, construction costs, all this properly, then you will know there's a certain margin that this development should be calling for. Okay, so you can't shout away for the view for 40th floor in the southern view. This is what you'll be getting if you have the chance to buy the high floor. So why I say it will not be very low in terms of PSF, because they are high floor. They can go high floor, and the higher you go, the better the view, the price also better. So it really depends on your objective. Are you intending to buy this property and then you hold it for the next 10, 15 years or not? Or if you're looking at this from a purely midterm, we're talking about maybe 4 to 6 years kind of situation. All right, so why do we say that this property definitely will not be below 2007? Why? Because today, right, Chuan Park, right, they already launched and purchased the property at 1,256, and their average per square foot is 2007 average. For Toa Payoh being in a location where you all know is super good, 1,360, they already paid more. The question is, will they launch for such a property in such a prime location? So if you have finished, if you have just watched one of my predictions, actually I did a prediction of what is the top 3 developments, right? Then you will know which one I am actually gearing up for and why I don't think it's going to be cheap. Okay, why I don't? I mean, if we're going to be premium lah. I mean, since you're going to buy a property, you may as well buy a more premium property, right? Yeah. So basically, based on this, we will have a lot of research to see what are the prices that you can go for. You see. So for just to give you a sneak preview, the 2 bed plus study, all right, configuration. Like I said, all these are subject to change. So do also get updates by subscribing to the channel. And every time when we have new changes, I will also keep you guys informed immediately. So a very quick one, 2-week premium plus study, nothing much to talk about because they are all the same for now. Or most of the developments is either the study in front or the study beside the other other room. So that's how most of the developments are going to be. But what is interesting is the 3-bed plus premium. So this one we immediately jump to the bigger 1044 square feet. 1044. So this is a very typical layout, and I believe developer also realized that a lot of the families, they do need a proper yard, do need a proper storeroom to cater for future family planning. And instead of creating a very small ones, they want to what? They want to start having this kind of layout, which is definitely in future buyers will be able to accept. So the question is today, if Orie is already having this and you have to wait for your ballot, you have to, see whether can you get the price that you want, does it fit the budget? What if there is already another similar layout that you don't need to get disappointed one, and you can also get? Okay, so let me just share with you side by side, right? This is also another development that we came upon and we realized they have the same layout. They have everything almost the same, to be honest, from a layout perspective. And this property, uh, nothing much to say because they're all the same, right? So if you're going for Ori, what if today we can get you the same layout? We can get you in RCR. Oops. We can get you in RCR. Okay. You have more density means you have more space. Okay. You have more space and amenities and malls are all there with 100% car park. Will any of you be of interest to find out if this is for you? So this is what we are trying to help every single homeowners out there, that today, not that you cannot wait, but why do we wait when there's existingly there's already units out there that we can actually look at, and you can actually write on these perks of potentially minimum only $2,600 per square foot with all these terms, you see, and your property price will what increase with future launches coming to help you grow your capital instead of you waiting. How many of you will be interested? If you're interested, you can reach out. Then we can discuss a little bit more whether does this unit actually suit you, right? So with Rory, you wait, but now I give you something that you can immediately tap on it and you can immediately write on the profits from there. You see, because when we smell good deals, who gets? Those who reach out to us get first. So that's my job. That's my role as an advisor to help your research with data and numbers. All right, but you have to act fast. So opportunities out there, don't wait for people. Also, usually a lot of times when they miss the opportunity, then we say that, how come you never push me? How come you never tell me? It's because you all never reach out lah. Okay, so you all must reach out first, then we will be able to actually guide you through on what's next. So also let's take a look at the 4-bit premium plus study. Okay, I think they're all for Ori is a very reasonably layout, and like I say, all these informations are subject to change. And as we get more information, I'll be also doing a separate video specifically, all right, on Ori and what are the things that has happened. So if you are intending to go for Ori for the balloting, do just reach out to us. We will give you more information and help you analyze before the balloting process. So the big question I want to ask every one of you here, do you all think prices will go up or come down in 2025? Okay. So a lot of times we hope, right? We hope as a homeowner. As a homeowner, do you want your price to come down? Actually, as a homeowner, but why is it that when we are a buyer, we always want the prices to come down? Don't make sense, correct? So let us do a reality check. Okay, and this is all based on data. All right. So let's revisit in the past what has happened. You see, so every step, right? In March 2017, right, there was changes for SSD from 4 to 3 years, and there was that's why people start to buy property then, and GDP was about 4.3%, 4.5%, right? Then eventually, when it went into July 2018, 1 year later, cooling measures starts to come in. Why? Because after 2017, things hit up. All right, prices went up. There was a lot of demand going on, And then cooling measures back in 2018 starts to cool down and our GDP went down 3.5%. Then 2019, the higher interest rates did pull people off from buying the property. And at the same time, the cooling measures kick in again. So during then, you have double whammy lah, or interest rate high, cooling measures, better don't do anything. So GDP went down very low to 1.3%. So why do we track GDP? Because that is also a very, is one of the indicators that we use to determine when we should enter and when we should exit the property lah. Not that is, we are like, we know what's the magic crystal ball, but our role is to put in as many parameters as we can to safeguard our purchase. Okay, as long as we can safeguard our purchase with different indicators, then we are definitely safer than others. Okay, others maybe they anyhow buy or they just use one or two indicators to buy. So this is why we do a lot of research. So of course, 2020 COVID period came, low interest rates, even though it's low interest rates, but there was a lot of uncertainty, right? When is COVID going to recover? So this is the part, I think globally everybody got impacted and everything went down negative 3.9%. And things starts to slowly recover in 2021 market, pick up a little bit, slow interest rate still, but a lot of people still don't dare to buy property. So ask yourself if today, if you understand the fundamentals of how we look at market, right? Would you have entered into the property market in COVID period? All right, I did. So I benefited from it. And it's not that I guessed myself into buying property in COVID, but it's through some of all these indicators. All right. So things picked up and market went up crazy to GDP 9.7. And eventually what happened? Interest rate starts to drop. We are seeing a little bit more situations because 2023, that's where the cooling measures came in because things got heated up after 2021. And the question I want to ask every one of you here is today moving forward with our lower interest rate and an improved GDP, which is what has been projected, right? Will the market be lower or higher? All right. So this is why we need to ask ourselves, every time when there's a cooling measures, whenever time there's a market movement, right? Does it help us to purchase property? Okay. So I always share today, the government are always monitoring the property market, always. Whether they hurt you or not, anytime we also don't know. So that is always a big risk, especially in a bullish market like right now, where everything seems to be too quick, too heated up. So you must ask yourself and give yourself permission to accept the fact that if today you miss the opportunity, what will come next that will prevent you from buying? Okay, there's a lot of all these indicators. So of course, today you can see that the prices, even though with all the speed bumps going on, are the prices coming down. And if we are waiting for the lowest point versus last 10 years, then are we waiting in vain? Because today, for even average price of 1,000 square foot unit, okay, this is based in a 600,000 go to 1.1 million to 1.6 million to 2.3 million right now, you see, and this is in the what RCR zone. Or what OCR? OCR also has been steadily increasing. So today you cannot stop but ask yourself that today you are buying a property at 1.7 million. You potentially could have purchased something at 1 million, but you did not enter the market. So do you end up paying more and more each time and not counting your borrowing ability? So by waiting, do we actually pay less each time? We must really seriously ask ourselves. We have to wake up one day. So even though if you're not entering the market, it doesn't matter. You're just sitting on the sidelines and seeing this go up and down, go up. That has nothing to do with you. But today, if you have the ability, okay, you must have the ability. You must have the capacity to hold on to that property, right? Then do you want to pay less or do you want to pay more in future? You see? Because let's say in the west side, let's just use a very close gap. I'm not using 20 years data. I'm just using the last 10 over years only. Park Rivera, you are able to purchase a $1.15 million property with a $7,200 income. You can buy already. And your down payment, everything is only less than 300,000. Okay, 230,000 you can actually pay already. But then 5 years later, what happened? New cooling measures changed. All right, prices also eventually went up. Whistler Grand now is at 1.4 million. Now your down payment increases because it went from 20% to 25%. So now you need to fork out more cash, more CPF. And not only that, you need to what? You need to make sure you have a higher income. If you do not earn enough, you also unable to buy. So that's why is it tougher for us to buy property right now? Definitely. Our TDSR already handicapped us. Our TDSR, LTV, all these are handicapping us that today we must have the good income and we must have the down payment to buy. So your total capital moving forward from 300,000 go to 415,000. And then today, I don't even talk about today you can only buy smaller property with the same amount or further away property. Right now we are looking everything in the west, but it seems like you go further and further further away, right? Because in 2024 right now, you need to buy 2.1 million. And your down payment now goes from 415,000, add on another 150 over 1,000, 180,000. And not only that, your income has to be 16,000 to afford a 2.1 million. So as the prices goes up, is it easier for us to buy property or harder for us to buy property? So that's why this is something that we have to acknowledge beforehand. Because today, my friend, with or without all this market situation, right? If you have bought any property back in 2016, yes, we have all the different recession tensions all going on. They are all speed bumps, as I call it. They are all speed bumps. Okay. It will happen one. There will be things happening every other year. We cannot control. But if today you have made sure that your fundamentals are right and you bought a property in 2016, your property would have even already increased 30% even with the speed bumps. So by doing it earlier, is it going to help you? So today, I also want to stress to every one of you here who are following me, if you have not, just subscribe to the channel, and like the video so that we can continue to inspire more people with strategies and knowledge about property. So today, a lot of people are always looking at, today I want to buy this property and I want to what? Make money out of it. Eventually, today, buying a property, yes, your property will grow in time. But if today you cannot, okay, I always like to play the devil's advocate, or plan the worst case situation. If today you buy a property and your property did not increase to the average, historical average growth due to whichever reason, economic downturn or, maybe another health crisis, that kind of situation, the question is, are you in need to dispose this property? Because if you are, then you're in the wrong investment. Okay, property you cannot be forced to sell. That's all the bottom line. So today, if your property is not growing at the average historical growth, right, doesn't matter. Because why? Because you must have enough buffer. That's why we always calculate financial calculations to make sure you have enough buffer. And today, don't sell the property. Can you rent out the property until the economy improves and you can make that 20%? So this is how we are looking at it. A lot of sometimes when you're going to meet some people in the different show flats or you meet some agent, they will tell you, oh no lah, 3 years can sell already, 3 years can sell already. But 3 years, if due to whatever reason it has not maximized its potential, why are you doing it in the first place? That is something that I don't agree with. I always mention today, even if you don't want to sell a property, the rental market could be at your favor, which is what we advise a lot of our clients this year. Okay, we ask them to rent it out instead. And we wait for one more year later, then we sell because next year the market will be better, lower interest rates, which means more demand. And that's where people can actually put out their property for sale, right? So today you could be falling into a few categories. If let's say today you've finish your EOK or even Chuan balloting, and then maybe the last 2 weeks you have been thinking, should you re-enter the market or not? You're kind of disappointed. So there are a few situations maybe you are in. All right, perhaps you are in buyer number A. All right, buyer A, you're ready. During the time your ballot number cannot make it. All right, so you must ask yourself or if there are better opportunities right now, will you be willing to enter? Because if you are not, that means actually you put for fun, right? All right, buyer B, you put a check, you have no intention, this one no need to say. Buyer C, all right, you are ready, you got a queue number, but you did not proceed due to different reasons. Maybe the unit is not what you like, the floor level, or maybe the price point is already out of reach. All these are very understandable. So buyer C, right, if you are in buyer C, right, you don't want to lose too much of your time and you may want to re-enter to research the market a little bit more to see whether are there any untapped property gems out there. All right, so over the period of these last 2 weeks, we have spotted under very good properties for our clients to replace with in their intention. All right. So my role is to help you to find, are there still within your price point that we can go into. Of course, buyer D, you're ready and you got a purchase. Congratulations. All right. Please don't message me and ask me, you buy already, should you give up or not? Okay, 99.999% you wouldn't. Or so you will self-justify because you need to pay that 1.25% of your of the fees, right? If you give up your unit. And of course, buyer D, if you fall into this category, I think don't be lah, or don't anyhow buy property just because other people are buying. Okay, so today you want to really just take note that today there are still properties out there that if you can do more research, right, you can actually have a lot more chances of purchase, and you will still be better off than not doing anything. So if you are falling into the buyer C category, there may be something that we can actually help you with. And I just want to give you guys a quick overview. Like right now, right, for if let's say you are looking at 2 bedrooms, these are the 2 bedrooms. Okay, if you have 2 bedrooms in today's market right now, the CCR is going easily above 2 million already. RCR at least 1.8 million up at $2,006 per square foot, and the OCR is going at 1.6 at 2,300 plus per square foot. So today, if let's say you're looking at OCR, and we can get you lower than 2,003 per square foot for a 2 bedroom in a good location, of course, in a good location with growth potential one, definitely have growth potential, because that's our parameters to help you all buy property, right? Will you be interested to actually figure out, is there such a good deal? Same for 3 bedroom. 3 bedrooms right now, CCR is easily $3,200 per square foot, 4.6 million. These are the 3 bedrooms. Okay. RCR 2.5 at about $2,005 per square foot, and OCR at 2.3 million. If we can get you about 2001 to 2002 for OCR, and RCR is hovering about 2006, okay, about 2006 to be honest, we can still get something decent, but there must be some advantage of good parameters, then we will advise you all. So this is for 3 bedroom, just to give you some benchmark. And of course, for the 4 bedrooms, right now, I think RCR we can still get about 2004 to 2005 per square foot. Okay, so like again, I say that sometimes you are overwhelmed with whatever is existing. There are still a lot of current projects that are very good to spot on. You may not have the time because you are working, you have your family, you may not have the right knowledge, you may not have the enough access to the right data and comparison. That's why you could be missing out some of all these properties. So I really urge every one of you here, if let's say today you have been in the market, but due to whatever reason you did not get any unit for the past 2 to 3 weeks, and you intend to really restart this process, right? Okay, you really want more data, you really want more analysis, all right, do reach out, or you can always go to some of my videos and see how we actually do our work, and that will give you a better security, a better confidence that we can actually guide you through the process. So scan the QR code, reach out. Is a non-obligation discussion, and let's see how we can help you guys to move forward with your plan rather than staying put today. All right, so like I say, if today this is your first time here, first time hearing me speak, do subscribe to the video, and I'll be really appreciating you guys to reach out and see how we can actually help you in the process of your property journey. Yes, so we have many of them who actually reach out. Thankfully, they did not get a ballot number for either of those projects, and eventually we move on to purchase something else, which from a numbers perspective, from a research and comparison perspective, is also very good in today's market. So that's where we come in to give you access into all this research and data. All right, so with that, thank you so much. Reach out if you need help in your property. And remember, property is not just a one-time thing, it's a journey. So we hope to be part of your property journey in time to come.